Herbie Hancock used to play these electrifying solo phrases where he would weave in and out of the harmony. And this was a sound that I always wanted to get into my own playing, but I was just too scared to play outside. But this changed for me when I realized that it really comes down to one idea. And once you have it, you can drop it into any standard that you already know. I'm going to give you 4 different ways to get a sound like this today, each one that gets a little closer to that authentic Herbie Hancock sound. By the way, I made a PDF worksheet for you to follow along. You can grab that for free down in the description under this video. Let's play here in the key of F. We're going to start with a real simple line over a 2-5-1 with each of the chords getting a whole measure. To get the outside shift, we're going to shift our 2 chord down a half step, and then we're going to come back to the 2-5 in the second bar, like this. Notice how I'm repeating the same phrase in both bars. Now we can do this same idea again, but instead of shifting down a half step, we're going to go up, like this. This concept works great over any slow 2-5, where each chord gets a whole bar, but we can do this over a fast 2-5 as well. So if we've got a fast 2-5 like this, where the 2 and the 5 are in the same measure, we can use a similar idea, but in this case, we're going to shift both chords. It's really important that we play simple but compelling phrases when we do this side slip, and learning how to create those phrases is one of the biggest struggles that I see in my students. And that's why I created a beginning improvisation course. I get emails every day that this method was finally the thing that unlocked improvisation for them. And if you want to start soloing with confidence too, the course is on sale today for a one-time purchase, no subscription required. When I first tried to play this half-step shift, my phrases sounded totally weird and random, and at first I didn't really understand why, but eventually I figured it out. This shift that we're doing, which I call a side slip, is a pretty dramatic and dissonant sound. It's going to knock your listeners off balance a little bit. Now, if your audience recognizes that you did that on purpose, then they get excited by the thrill of it. And that's why repeating our phrase is so helpful, because your listeners can hear that you played the same thing twice, so clearly it wasn't a mistake. The same trick, by the way, is helpful if you play a wrong note or just a phrase that sounds bad. You can just go back and repeat that because then it sounds like you did it on purpose. But Herbie used to side slip without repeating himself all the time. And for us to do that, we need to look at this from a slightly different angle. So far, we've been treating each chord as a separate phrase, but we don't have to do that. Instead, we can create one single continuous line that moves from outside and then back to inside without stopping, like this. To get a great sound this way, we need to play with a gesture. It's not just that we're playing one continuous line, but that the listener can feel and hear this gesture for themselves. And once you've got these ideas, you can use them over any of your standards, like All the Things You Are. These side slips are a great way to add tension and release to your playing, but to get the most out of them, we have to have a really strong jazz vocabulary. And one of the most important exercises that I teach, which we use to play over any 2-5-1, I call the 3-3-3. And once you know how to play that, you'll be able to apply that same idea to all of these side slips. I will teach you how to do that technique right here in this video.